Hey everyone, and welcome to another ArmA 3 mod spotlight episode. Whereas I do the ArmA mod weekly episodes on each Monday, I thought it would be cool to handpick 5 mods from all those episodes in that month and come up with the top 5 during the last week. Now February went by a little fast and therefore I could not do this until the 1st of March, but today we'll be discussing the top 5 mods or custom missions for ArmA 3 from February. Before we begin, I would like to remind you all that the footage was captured from episodes that can be seen on the Looping Reel Gaming channel, which is the Let's Play channel run by me and all my friends. You can find a link to that channel in the description down below, and please subscribe for more awesome ArmA 3 co-op Let's Plays. I would also like to inform you guys that I have a gaming review channel called Konoha Reviews, where I review different games, both old and new. You can find the link to that channel in the description as well, and please support me by subscribing if you like what you see there. Alright, now let's finally begin with the top 5. On number 5, we find the custom mission called Rhyme With Me, created by mission maker Reaper. This mission offers a cool story that can be experienced solo or up to 4 people, which tells the tale of a murder mystery. As young detectives, you guys are called in to look at a man who was killed in the middle of the night. What is really cool is that it properly starts out as a detective/adventure game where you are tasked with finding clues around the crime scene. The triggers work well to where if you are playing with friends, all of you can join in the search to find hints that might lead to a closer answer on who did it. The story is very cutscene and dialogue heavy as it tells the story well. Eventually the story does turn into a more horror-themed mission, but you don't have to worry about any cheap jump scares or anything like that. It's more creepy than anything. There's quite a memorable scene at a church during night, and the pacing keeps up and keeps you interested without offering too much action. The finale is quite ambitious and does something very original, but unfortunately can suffer from some bugs and glitches, and it can be quite unclear what you need to do to bring the mission to an end. Overall, the amount of detective-themed missions on ArmA 3 are very flimsy, and I always encourage more mission creators to make stories like this. Check it out and invite some friends over for an awesome experience. On number 4, we find a total conversion mod called Blood and Iron by creator Cole. This mod plunges ArmA 3 into a historic battle simulator regarding the Franco-Prussian War. I say that a bit loosely though, as of course the mod creators needed some workaround to get the reloading to last longer than usual, with relatively static animations, and often AI would still use regular tactics when not heavily triggered. The mod itself at its moment is still pretty small, which is why it is not higher on the list. The mod comes with a handful of infantry units for both sides that look excellent by the way, and one map that still feels very unfinished, but gives a good glimpse of what's to come in the future. Some extra buildings and objects can be added manually though in the editor, but overall, the battles will not be that varied. We of course have seen mods like this before, as the Napoleonic version was released many years ago. That one though had some extra things like cannons and artillery, and therefore I do hope that the Blood and Iron mod will be expanded upon in the future, as it's still now in its baby steps. Another mod in this top 5 will showcase the use of horses, something that the Blood and Iron mod can surely benefit by having that included. It has to be seen if the mod can last longer with updates to hopefully come in the future, but as a starting kick, it definitely had hit its goal. Then on number 3, we have the custom mission Zombie Outbreak, that by now has 2 episodes out. The mission creator, The Frankster, had made an awesome cinematic story about the zombie outbreak that caught many people's attention too on Steam. The episode itself did get some critique by people, and the shortly after release 2 got its share of criticism too. I hope that it did not discourage the creator to stop with the storyline, as the potential in the overall missions can definitely be seen. There are tons of zombie missions out there for ArmA 3, but most of them tackle it from the perspective of a zombie apocalypse, a scenario that occurs many years or maybe months after the initial outbreak. The cool thing here is that it tells the story from the beginning with Patient Zero. It's again very dialogue heavy, and what struck me was the detail that the creator put into filling the world with objects, props, and NPCs to make it feel alive. The first mission is my favorite. even though it got critique on having almost no action in it, at least nothing from the player's direct perspective. The moment that the outbreak does happen, chaos ensues and it becomes quite hectic and exciting, but it's over rather quickly. The second mission finally has you stand up against the zombies, but it is the same kind of zombie action we have seen in many other zombie missions for ArmA 3. If you love zombie games and stories, don't miss out on this 2-story mini-campaign. On number 2, we find the Wild West mission created by mission maker Camden. The setting alone makes this mission feel more like a total conversion mod than anything else. Though the mission itself offers nothing new in terms of its action, the setting and attempt at creating a Wild West adventure is enough to gain my enormous respect. I have a weakness for mod and mission creators who come up with really original ideas that are far from the actual game's intent. That is why it is so impressive to me that a Wild West story was created for a realistic, slightly futuristic military sim game. The mission is quite lengthy and tells the story with a nice build-up. You start out at your home, when a stranger visits you and asks you for your help. You will ride into the nearby village to visit the sheriff on your horse, as this mission makes use of the horse mod that is available too. Though it can clearly be seen that the horse sticks out like a sore thumb, the animations themselves are not as bad as one might think. If one were to look at just the animations alone, it is quite believable, but the speed and bumpiness on which it moves makes it seem out of place. Nevertheless though, it is cool that they do function as moving vehicle type sorts, and soon after you meet the sheriff, a small firefight breaks out at the nearby bank. By using other historic mods, weapons of them olden days have been slipped into this mission as well, and they feel like they fit the time frame. I've said this before on the ArmA Mods Weekly, and that is that some of the weapons might have not been used yet in the time that the story takes place, which might result in some critique. But nevertheless, they are all weapons that were used around the time of 1900, and the Middle Eastern map was perfectly chosen, as its desert landscapes mimic the Americas very well. Shootouts can be quite brutal, as your weapons do not pack a punch, and your enemies are often not shy about using grenades that I assume are representing dynamite. The missions will eventually even lead you to Mexico, and overall you are embarking on a really cool and lonesome quest as a Wild West troublemaker. I do feel that the mission would benefit greatly from multiplayer support, as the open terrain just begs to be used for flanking by some of your buddies. Overall, very impressive. And at number 1, we find the Half-Life 2 missions by creator The Paramedic. I have talked about these missions in multiple episodes, and the rapid pace at which these are released makes it to where you can now have an awesome 2 hours plus mini-campaign experience if you binge all the missions in that day. Some of these can even be played in co-op. The missions follow the story of Half-Life 2 loosely, as we are stepping into the shoes of Gordon Freeman once again. By using sound cues and props directly from the game, the setting and mood for the missions is immediately set. The first mission is still my favorite, even though some might again argue that it feels more like a walking simulator without much action. But I always thought that having missions like that really gives a chance to see how the creator has filled the world with items and NPCs that have their own agenda to make it feel more alive. The Chernarus Redux map is used to its full potential, as the withered down city fits perfectly for the City 17 setting. Citizens can be seen everywhere, and the brutality of the Combine is also not shied away from. When the action does take place, the thrill of battling the Combine soldiers with the intensity and realism of the ArmA engine really gives a new experience. The fact that you can be killed with one well-aimed headshot makes it to where every Combine soldier needs to be taken seriously. The first mission created a big buzz on the workshop as well, and even inspired other people into making Half-Life 2 missions as well. The Half-Life mod has been out for quite a while, but lacked content support. I feel that partially due to these missions, we will hopefully see much more Half-Life 2 content for ArmA 3 in the future. And with that, we have come to the end of another episode of ArmA Mods. Though I know I'm supposed to do another ArmA Mods Weekly this coming Monday, I might not make that in time due to some things I have to do this weekend. The last episode I uploaded did not do particularly well, and so maybe I will change the format where I only do these top 5 mods monthly. Anyway, with that said, thank you guys all so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends in the ArmA community. I will see you all next time.